Right, it's not the end of season yet, but we have got an award to give out. Loanee.
Best town of the season?
Best town of the season?
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be a very big shortlist for that one, will there?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a sunbed?
I have, yeah. Love a sunbed. Why
like
not?
It? Like
yeah,
it?
of course.
Pants on or pants off?
I would be way too scared to go pants off.
Really?
Way too scared.
See, I used to like pants on because then you could see the tan line. You can see how your progress is because progress is important.
Yeah.
But now I just go full shebang.
Do you not
mate.
worry about the old, the twig and berries, the impact on that?
No. No. I've put my twig and berries through a lot worse. Loan watch, Chelsea loan watch.
Talking about Chelsea.
Yeah. Let's speak about the guys that we have out on loan this season because obviously having a big squad like Chelsea do, there's always going to be a lot of loans. And I think some of them have obviously set the world on fire. Some have very much gone under the radar and some are probably somewhere in the middle. So let's start off with a man who I think we almost feel a bit uncomfortable talking about sometimes. I feel like this could be one in the mould of a Mo Salah, a Kevin De Bruyne, some of the big names that we've let go in the past and have gone on to big things. And this is one that I've got quite a bit of anxiety, I would say, around because I just do think that this guy is destined to do really, really good things. Ian Maatsen. Ooh. 19 games so far in the Bundesliga and the UEFA Champions League, 4 goal involvements, which maybe doesn't seem that flattering, but the position he's playing he's a left back.
Yeah.
He's a left back, and although your fullbacks get forward nowadays,
some invert these days as well.
Do they?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. Not missing him too much, are we?
He would be, by the way, Ian Maatsen would be very good in that inverted role, by the way.
Oh, he would, wouldn't he?
He would. It really suits him.
Mauricio Pochettino was playing Ian Maatsen in the first half of the season off of the bench on left wing. And I do still think that is the one area of this Chelsea pitch so far, of this Chelsea thing, with even when injuries come back, that's the one area, and you're not going to like it because your boy Mykhailo Mudryk is sort of occupying that position at the moment. But that's the one area that I'm not saying needs upgrading, but it's the one area I'm not like, right, we're set there. You know what I mean? Like when I look
agree.
at the right wing, Cole Palmer, Donny Madueke, we're set. Yeah. Number 10, Cole Palmer, Nkunku, Kane Chukwuemeka, we're set. The midfield, we're set. Do you know what I mean? Number 9, it could be looked into, but 9 and left wing are the two sort of positions, and left wing is a position that we saw Ian Maatsen play in. How have you found his loan spell at Borussia Dortmund so far?
I think he's told us how good he was. I think he's shown his quality. We knew, mate, we saw it in pre-season. We knew, not only did he play left wing, by the way, he played centre attacking mid.
He was so good in pre-season.
Honestly,
do I remember that pre-season? Yeah. I do remember it. I remember waking up at fuck knows what time, 5 a.m, and texting you about the games we were playing. It was a good time to be alive.
That was a good era. That was a good era. We just met each other. Yeah. We were talking about Chelsea.
Stage.
Honeymoon period. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was, and we were winning games.
That's before you started leaving the toilet seat up and socks all over the bedroom floor.
It was when we thought that Nicholas Jackson was Didier Drogba reincarnated. That was a brilliant time.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he smashed it, old Ian Maatsen, and
I love him.
I don't think we thought any different was coming. I think when Ian Maatsen went there, we knew that he was gonna.
Would you offload Chilwell if it meant you could keep Ian Maatsen?
Oh, it's a hard question. You always ask difficult questions, you do.
I do.
Like, how much tax are you paying? No, I'm joking.
It's nothing.
Not much. Yeah, I would offload Ben Chilwell and keep Ian Maatsen. And the reason I say that is because I've always said I don't really know how well Ben Chilwell works in a back four, rather than sort of the back three with the wing backs bombing on. When you're looking at the role that Cucurella is doing for us at the minute, I think you need to be a very scrappy player who's got the good mix of aggression and timing. And I don't think that that is Ben Chilwell's playing style. I also don't think his body will hold up to that.
No.
And when we're looking at the best ability being availability,
which you always say,
there you go. So I would say for next season, if we were to move Ben Chilwell on, hopefully get a fee for him. And I feel awful. I always prerequisite this by saying I do feel awful when I say this, but I've just got to be honest.
Yeah.
Just got to be honest.
I'm the same. I loved Chilwell. I think that Chilwell is such a good bloke. I think he is actually a leader in the dressing room as well. Seems like a really good guy. I think he's a brilliant player. And mate, there were games even this season. Was it an FA Cup game where he came back?
I was at that game.
Was that the FA Cup? Was that no,
it was
League
the
Cup.
second leg of the League Cup
semi-final where he came on.
He
ran the game.
He ran the show. That was one of the best individual performances I've seen at Stamford Bridge since Roman leaving. So,
and we've seen Chilwell do that, several games.
Yeah.
He's always been good. But like you say, the injury record, it's just so concerning. And we can't keep employing players that have this injury record because it's not good for the squad.
And do you know what? Like, I know this is stupid man's logic probably, but when you're thinking, well, no matter what, Reece is always going to be there. Can we afford to have another fullback over on the other side who's missing 80% of a season? I just don't think we can.
Can't. You can't afford that.
So realistically, if next season our options were to be Ian Maatsen, Kukurea, and obviously Gusto, who can play over on that side, I think then maybe that might see us through. But is there any chance we get Ian Maatsen back?
I don't think there is. No. Everything we're hearing now at the moment is that Ian Maatsen is twerking for this move. He's actually trying to force the move through, and I rate that in a weird way from him, where he's like, Chelsea, take a lower offer. Why would Chelsea take a lower offer than his release clause?
What is his release clause?
Apparently it's £30 million, so someone's going to get an absolute deal.
Lower?
Apparently Dortmund can't even afford that.
Mate, if we brought him back and we give him game time and held on until January when everyone's needing players or even the end of the season, 50 mil.
Yeah, his value at the moment in the current market is 60 million.
Yeah.
I honestly do believe that.
Yeah.
It's not even taking the piss. It should be 100 million at the moment with how good he is.
No lower. Yeah. He's having a good loan spell over there. Let's move on to Romelu Lukaku. He has got, by the way, 23 goal involvements in 43 matches for Roma this season.
Okay, so I've got a hypothetical scenario for you. If it meant that you could keep Trevor and Conor Gallagher, but you couldn't sign Victor Osimhen, would you keep Romelu Lukaku as your backup striker? Bearing in mind that he's on 200 grand a week.
Yeah, probably. But
I don't think that's a controversial take, I don't think that's mad to say bring Romelu back if he isn't a dick about it and he actually integrates back into the squad. Have more of an experienced player, a player that's done it on an international level, who's been playing at the top level for a very long time. Remember, he was playing top level when he was 18, 19. Maybe even younger than that.
West Brom.
Yeah. Had some great loan spells as well.
He was good at West Brom. Good at Genk. Was it Genk? He was
good at Everton.
Club Brugge, Genk, one of the two.
Everton he was good at as well.
Yeah.
Great
toffees. Romelu Lukaku. He's having a good loan spell. Realistically, I think that the only real interest we're taking as Chelsea fans comes from the sort of wanting of being able to get a good fee for him rather than he's playing well, he might come back in and do well for us. It's the ship sell.
I think the ship sailed purely from a mentality perspective because it just feels like he doesn't give a fuck about coming back and he doesn't really rate Chelsea anymore, and so you can understand why fans want him gone.
It'd be a massive backward step to bring Romelu Lukaku back in, would it not?
Yes and no. Yes, right. Because it would be going back to a player that doesn't want to be there, but no, because mate, how many experienced players are we going to have in the squad next season? We've just said about selling Chilwell. If we sold Chilwell...
Age and experience don't always line up perfectly, like...
Romelu Lukaku has been
Trevor Chalobah's younger than Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, true.
Who's more of a leader?
Yeah, true.
Who's a better example?
I do think Romelu is a bit more of a leader than Raheem Sterling is, though.
Yeah. But I also think that Romelu Lukaku would not be happy unless he was the star of the show.
Fair enough. And he won't be the star of the show with Didier Drogba reincarnated up
exactly. Top. If you've got Nicholas Jackson up front, you don't need Lukaku. So there you go. Okay, so Armando Broja. I've got some notes with goal involvements from each player and minutes played and stuff like that. Do you want to read out what I've got next to Armando?
Is it completely empty?
If you can just read out what I've got next to Armando Broja's name there.
Playing shit.
There you go. Mate,
he hasn't been playing. Why are you saying playing?
If they could see my screen now, I've got Ian Maatsen, 19 goals so far in both Bundesliga, 4 goal involvements, blah, 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 blah. Romelu Lukaku, 32, and I've just got Broja playing shit.
Yeah.
And that's on the training pitch.
He's not even playing.
That's at Rangers Park, because he ain't even...
Yeah. It's such a shame what's happened to his career. I really do worry about how much money we're going to be able to get for him. Like, where does he go next, mate, is the question. Like, where could you see him playing after Fulham? Bear in mind, playing is very loose.
Does he get a Premier League team?
I think he's going to have to go abroad, you know. I could see him playing in Italy. And that's nothing against Serie A, by the way.
I'll tell you where he goes. Promotion or no promotion. Go back to Southampton next season.
Yes, that would be a good move for him.
Finish Championship top goal scorer.
Will he start?
How many goals?
No,
if he stays fit,
promoted,
if he stays fit, how many goals does he bang in the Championship?
15, 20.
Really?
How many do you think?
I don't know. Vardy's just got about 18, isn't he?
Has he only got 18 goals this season?
I think that.
Jesus, I thought he'd scored way more.
Okay. No chance that we hang on to Broja next season?
I think we've got to offload as soon as
you know
we
them
can.
ones where they go out on loan, like obviously, say for example, an Omari Hutchinson, Davidatro Fofana, even an Ian Maatsen, and they heighten their value and they you know they just represent us well when they go on loan. How many million would you say that Broja's market value has decreased by since his loan?
I'd be surprised if we got any more than what Callum Hudson-Odoi went for.
What, 5 mil?
Yeah, think about it. Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's got more pedigree than Broja did. If you think about it, Callum Hudson-Odoi was wanted by Bayern Munich, £100 million deal. Broja, people wanted him, but like AC Milan wanted to pay like 25 million for him. Like, come on.
Would they pay 25 million?
Nowhere near. We will be lucky to get 10.
God.
It's not good.
Broja,
I feel really sorry for him because, again, he's a player that's really wanted to play for Chelsea, who had a very good start to his career, was smashing it at Southampton.
He looked good.
Smashing
good.
It. And injuries, again, just ruined it for him.
Another man who I haven't really watched closely at all, 3 assists in 21 games for Strasbourg, Angelo. Have you watched him at all?
I like it. Yeah, I have seen bits and bobs of him. Yeah. Do you know what? He's been in and out of the team at Strasbourg. Obviously, Patrick Vieira there. They're a Bluecoat-owned team. Obviously, there's more precedent to get these boys playing. He's looked fine. Has been playing on the right as a left-sided right winger. I mean, you know, that's going to be a difficult position for him to come into. I don't think that he will be at Chelsea next season, and I don't mean that in terms of selling. I do think he'll be on another loan.
He'll have another loan. Yeah. Up the level a little bit.
I hope so. Well, in a weird way, like maybe you do just keep him at Strasbourg and let the manager who knows him well keep playing him. Keep him in the ecosystem of the Bluecoat ecosystem and see where he goes. And bearing in mind, there's another player that is playing alongside him at the moment in Andre Santos, who we got to talk about as well. I think both of them having another season at Strasbourg wouldn't be a bad thing.
You know, when we talk about pre-season, Andre Santos and Cassidy as well to an extent, but definitely Andre Santos, they were the 2 players that in pre-season I was really looking at and I was thinking, God, you're gonna be good for us this season. Yeah. And Andre Santos is... yeah, I'd say he's out of everyone at Chelsea Football Club the player that I've been the most surprised at this season. And obviously, probably a negative connotation of the word because he hasn't really done anything.
He hasn't had a chance, has he?
No.
He hasn't had a chance to play. No. So you can't really blame him on that. I have to say though, mate, this guy has got probably the most potential out of all of these loans, hasn't he? Really? Well, come on, he's got a lot of potential. I mean, maybe let's take Ian Maatsen out of it, maybe. But I mean, Barcelona wanted this guy. I mean, all of the best clubs in the world wanted this guy. He's one of those players that is the Brazilian wonder kid. You look at Football Manager and you go, yeah, he's going to be my starting midfielder. And in Football Manager, you probably play him. But in real life,
have you seen anything of him at Strasbourg?
Yeah, he looked really good. He won Player of the Match recently in one of the games that they were playing for. I think he got Young Player of the Month in April in Liga. So, you know, you have to say he's doing something right. He's getting a lot more game time now. I think originally when he first came in, Patrick Vieira wasn't sure. They had a couple of injuries. And then Andre Santos comes in and basically makes the position his own. So I'm guessing now, especially on his age, I think he's still about 19 or something. He's 20. 20. Would you agree that stick with Strasbourg if you're getting game time there, stay over there for another season or at least another half a season and see how we're doing? Yeah, I like the fact that both Gabriel and Santos could be there together. And I think, you know, those 2 Brazilian guys keep each other company, grow together, improve. And let's be honest, mate, Patrick Vieira is a good guy for this guy to be learning from, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, probably one of the best guys to be learning from. So I think we'll keep him there, and I think they'll tear it up. And let's hope Strasbourg get up the league because, you know, I hope we do sign a few more wonder kids, you know, get them bedding in there. We've got lots of players that could be going on loan there, you know, loads of players actually. So, yeah, let's hope. We had a chat earlier on about the left backs at our club, and I've just realised looking at the loan list, we forgot about one. Lewis Hall.
What's going on?
It's still confirmed to Newcastle. So basically, if they were, I think it was a positional thing. So I think if they were in the top half of the league, it was confirmed. So that deal has gone through. I believe it's around the £30 million mark. That's a good amount of money to come in.
Well, we're talking about players that have increased or decreased their value out on loan this season. Maybe it sort of levels itself out because Lewis Hall is a man that through no fault of his own has definitely decreased the value that he would go for out on loan this season. 17 appearances for Newcastle this season, 1 goal in all competitions. I think that came against Man United. Ironically, though, out of those 17 appearances, only 5 of them have been starts. And then I look at it and I think, would Lewis Hall have 5 starts for Chelsea this season? Well, the answer is yeah, he would. He would have 5 starts for us.
The right reasons, though. Like I just think, for me now, if you look at the model that we're going to have to do going forward, we're going to have to sell some of these academy players when they're young kids, right? And I'd rather sell 3 or 4 young kids that we don't know the potential of and keep players like Gallagher who we do know the potential of. And so I'm kind of happy to warrant some of these sales. I wish we'd kept players like Livramento. I think Livramento is a better player than Lewis Hall.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think that's difficult.
I wish Lewis Hall the best, though. And obviously, look, I like Newcastle as a club. I hope he does well there. I just think it's a very strange one, this loan, because the permanent deal's gone through on the basis of the sort of terms of the contract originally. But I think if Newcastle are being honest with themselves, if Eddie Howe's being honest with himself, I don't think it's a player they really wanted. So.
No, Lewis Hall, I don't know if it's the best move for his career.
No.
And for us, we always wish these academy players the best. I don't know if that's the best move, but let's hope we're wrong. Let's hope we're wrong.
Kepa Arrizabalaga. He has 13 games in La Liga this season. No goals or assists.
What a surprise. He's third choice for Real Madrid now.
Yeah.
That's damning, isn't it?
It's not the worst being third choice for Real Madrid, though, is it?
It's not, but then, Loanee, who's replaced him, was pretty much an unknown, really.
What's he for Chelsea?
What's he for Chelsea?
Yeah, like choice
for Loanee. What, this guy coming in? Or Kepa?
Kepa. So say, for example, our three are obviously Kepa, Georgie and Sanchez. So
I think Kepa would be like a 2, but I'd be challenging Georgie.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't think he'd get in the team. But
is he better than Robert Sanchez?
Yes.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, probably say he is. Not too keen on Kepa, though. Just a bit like...
No, I'm not too keen on him. I'm interested to see comments. Let us know what you think if he's better than Sanchez.
Another man who started off the season, he's had 2 loan spells, started off the season at Union Berlin, wasn't really doing it all that much, scored a couple of goals, but never really pushed on, and then has had a loan spell to Burnley. 13 games so far, and he's got 5 goals and assists for a struggling Burnley side. I think those numbers reflect quite well, especially when you look at their league table position. That man is David Datro Fofana.
I like this guy.
Yeah?
I actually really do like him.
Because this is the one, when I'm looking at things and I'm looking at players that have a realistic chance of integrating themselves into our squad next season, he's not going to get sort of a lot of minutes, potentially. But if he is happy to learn under Mauricio Pochettino, take that leap of faith, take that risk of coming back into Cobham, having Mauricio Pochettino look at him on the training ground and then potentially make his way into the first team, he's one that, he's an outside runner, isn't he? But he very much is a runner in contention.
If we don't sign a number 9 for whatever reason, then he has to come back.
He's not a bad backup.
He has to come back.
He's at this point, you're looking at what we've got, and if we're going on about Nicholas Jackson or Nkunku, whoever it is, as the number 9 next season, David Datro Fofana is a better backup than Armando Broja at this moment in time, is he not?
100%. I mean, that's not even a debate, really, is it? I do have a sneaky feeling that he will be involved in the squad.
I've got a sneaky feeling he will. I think that we'll see him on the pre-season tour. I think he'll bang a few goals, and I think he'll give Mauricio Pochettino a little bit of a headache with selection.
He's looked so strong and solid when he's played. He's banged some big goals in for Burnley as well, like outside of the box, goals. Like he's looked really good. What do you know? What there was that game that he played, wasn't it? I think it was 45 minutes. He got hooked at half time.
Yeah.
Do you remember for us? And it was like, why is he getting hooked at half time? That made no sense. He looked really good.
What
like
was
the
that?
highlights
That was under Potter, was it?
Yeah, I can't even remember. I can't even remember who the manager was. I can't remember the game, but he played 45 minutes. Looked really good.
Is it Fulham away?
I think he was at home.
Okay.
I think he was at home. Weird one.
Either way,
Yeah,
I think he'll be there or thereabouts next season, back in around the first team. I think he's the one that I'm like, okay, depending on what the player wants, maybe doesn't need another loan spell. And so far, about a few of these names we're not sure on. One man who probably definitely won't be anywhere near Stamford Bridge next season is Hakim Ziyech. Have you seen his numbers, to be fair?
No,
7 goals and assists in 15 games. Not the worst, is it?
15 games as well, isn't it? I would expect him to play way more than that.
Galatasaray, is he at?
Yes.
And they just knocked out... no, they just beat Villa. No, that was Olympiacos.
That was someone else.
The other one.
Yeah. Different country.
Do we talk about Ziyech? I'm not bothered.
I mean, we can talk about him in the fact of let's get him out of the club as soon as we possibly can.
Shitter.
He can't pass a medical, which really concerns me. Really, really concerns me. Because if he doesn't, I mean, fucking hell, mate. Imagine if we have to pay his wages next season.
Oh, God, he'd be on a bit and all.
He's on a lot of money. He's on, I think, north of 175.
Let's just hope that problem sorts itself out, because I don't really want to talk about Hakim Ziyech, really.
No.
Diego Moreira.
Yeah.
9 games so far for Leon. No goals or assists. Have you seen anything?
Get rid of him as soon as
Really?
you can. This is
Do you
one
know
of those
what?
ones
Can I
we
just
did
say,
as a
going
free
back
signing.
to pre-season,
Yeah.
I never rated him then,
No, he didn't
honest.
look good then.
No.
He never looked up to standard. He doesn't look like the standard of the academy players, let alone the first teamers. So this was a free transfer. So just get rid of him.
Another man who I do actually believe there's a potential we see, I was about to say in and around the first team, he'd very much be a squad player, but there's a potential we see him brought back to Cobham next season rather than out on another loan, is Bashir Humphreys. He's at Swansea. I'm going to hold my hands up. I've not watched anything of him. Have you?
Fucking hell. No, I haven't seen anything of him, but fucking hell, he was a decent player, wasn't he?
He was decent in pre-season. Do you remember in pre-season, it was him and Trev, wasn't it?
Yeah, I rate him. He looks really good. I just think he'll be out on another loan or he'll be sold. I can't, mate. Think of the defensive options we've got.
Yeah, but it does just depend, because you're about to list them now. We are going to definitely lose 2 defenders. There could
Definitely
be a
lose
surprise.
one.
There could be a
Definitely lose one for sure.
mate. We'd definitely lose 2. We've already said we're
Thiago's
definitely
gone.
Thiago's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, there's always a surprise. We didn't think we were going to sell Kai Havertz, and we sold him. Every transfer window, there is a surprise to go. There could be. You never know, mate. I'm not saying I think Axel Disasi or Badiashile will go, but it could be something.
Badiashile could be a possibility.
There could be a possibility that someone goes, even someone goes out on loan, you know?
Yeah.
I just look at Bashir Humphreys and I'm like, you know, that Premier League quota as well. We think about homegrown. I think
he'll
there's
be
a
on
chance
another
he
loan
could be.
for me. I feel like he's an Ethan Ampadu type. And I think he'll be on loans.
Don't think he'll ever play for Chelsea, no?
Don't think he will.
No.
Don't think he will.
No.
Which is a shame because he looks good.
Let's see. And then we move on to the man who I think is going to have the best chance here at winning the award, Loanee of the season, but we will discuss it. Omari Hutchinson.
Oh.
Now, do you know what? I was about to say it's my guilty pleasure. There's nothing guilty about it. I love the Championship. And I always talk to you about the Championship. I do love Championship. I don't sit and watch full 90s all that often, but I do watch the highlights of the Championship. And this season, it's been a bit of a weird one in the Championship, because there was a point when it was like anyone from like 14th, 15th upwards could get those playoff positions. It was a 4-team title race. And then like title races, relegation battles, all these things usually do. We think this is going to be the most exciting one ever. And in the course of about 10 days, it just pretty much sews itself up and takes care of itself. And that's pretty much what has happened here. And Ipswich Town will be playing Premier League football next season. Happy to see him in there?
Yeah, very happy to see them back.
Yeah. Do they owe us a big thank you?
They do owe us a massive thank you.
do.
What a manager they've got, by the way. Kieran McKenna, isn't it? That's his name. He was. He's only 37, and bearing in mind he was involved in Man United, he's done incredibly well for them. And you have to say, their talisman, one of their spearheads of their attack, has been Hutchinson. And fair enough, he is
15 goal involvements in 44 games from the Championship this season. But what I will say is that's definitely not 44 starts. He wasn't even really starting at first, was he?
No, he wasn't. And to be fair, mate, he's not a Cobham kid, is he? You know, we brought him in from Arsenal, didn't we?
Arsenal, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's not a Cobham kid. This is why I have a bad feeling about this, that he might be one of those ones they brought in to sell.
I would probably say so. We've actually seen him playing in the 10 quite a lot for Ipswich more recently, but he's sort of by trade, he's a right winger, isn't he?
Yeah.
We spoke about the difficulty of getting onto that right-hand side for Chelsea at the moment when you've got Noni Madueke there, you've got Cole Palmer that can be played there. Obviously, and Nkunku can go over that side. The options are limitless.
Yeah.
What I would like to see the most next season, he's helped him get up another season at Ipswich. Would you buy into that?
I don't love sending our players to like relegation threatened teams anymore. I don't know if that does us anything. I don't know if it does them.
There's
any
context
favours.
to this though, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's context to this. Sending them to a relegation threatened team that have just come up. So say, for example, and Andre Santos to Nottingham Forest. We're still reeling from that. We've got the sort of scars from that. But sending them back to a team that they've helped gain promotion out of the Championship for the first time in 20-odd years. I think there's something romantic there, and I think the vibes are carrying him there. And I also look at Ipswich. I don't think it's going to be sort of 3 up, 3 down next season. I honestly don't.
Mad.
I think.
Mad
Do you know
to
what
say
I
this
think?
early.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
I think it's going to be 3 up, 1 down.
Who in the league right now is going down next season?
Right, well, I'm telling you now. Let me tell you who's not going down. Leicester City are not going down. Okay. Leicester City will be a Premier League team come May next season.
So who's going down?
Whoever comes up out the playoffs probably go down.
Okay, but who's going down out of the Prem?
One of Luton and Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
And
Brentford?
Could be Brentford, you know.
No Tony.
Brentford. Tell you who it could be.
Come.
Could be Everton.
Yeah, I mean,
how long can
they're
you
comfortable mid-table
How
now.
long can you flirt with relegation before sealing the deal?
Well, it's not going to. Yeah, fair enough. But they're looking very solid in the league now. If they didn't have the 10 points, come on, they'd be right up there. They'd be in mid-table. I mean, they'd be close to Wolves.
Yeah, potentially. Who wins Loanee of the season? Should I tell you that the 2 leading names are probably going to be Omari Hutchinson, and I think the other leading name is obviously going to be Ian Maatsen. I think you've got to look at it. You've got to look at the age. Similar age, these 2 guys. Obviously, you know, I'd probably go as far to say that Ian Maatsen's season playing at the same level as Omari Hutchinson's was possibly more impressive. Omari Hutchinson, 15 goals and assists in 44 games. I think Ian Maatsen would have had maybe not 15, but somewhere not far off of that with Burnley last season, and now he's pushed on. He's gone to Borussia Dortmund. Can I just say, Burnley to Dortmund? Burnley to Dortmund, mate. Like, I'm saying, yeah, Omari Hutchinson smashed it. This is the equivalent. What Ian Maatsen's done in this half a season over at Borussia Dortmund is the equivalent to Omari Hutchinson not renewing his loan with Ipswich. It's the equivalent to him going to
Atletico Madrid or something like that.
Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, even maybe not Bayer Leverkusen because they've just won the league. But do you know what I mean? It's that sort of equivalent to go in there, a Champions League side, and smashing it and becoming one of the first names on the team sheet. So I think although the goals and assists are going to sway us towards Omari Hutchinson, I think there's a real case here for Ian Maatsen winning Loanee of the season. And my God, it would mean the world to him.
He would.
What would you
been waiting for
rather
that
win?
trophy.
Would you rather win the Bundesliga? Would you rather win the Champions League?
League.
Or would you rather win the Joey Knight podcast Ian Maatsen Loanee of the season
trophy
award?
Yeah, he's been waiting for that. He's been waiting all season for that trophy.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah. For me, it is Maatsen. Like, I think Omari's had an unbelievable season, but the fact that this guy Ian Maatsen could be playing in a Champions League final, potentially winning the Champions League, you know, at left back in the role, and also basically being one of the better players for Dortmund, which quite frankly he has been. That's another level. That's a completely different planet than the Championship.
It's a different stratosphere, isn't it?
It is.
It really is. We look at the quality of Championship teams, man. Burnley romped that Championship last season. And yeah, all right, maybe they would have stayed up if they had kept hold of Ian Maatsen and the other fullback on the other side that I think went or maybe injured this season. But ultimately, Premier League survival and potentially reaching a Champions League final is a different class there. Are we giving it to Ian Maatsen?
Definitely, for me.
I think we've got to give it to him.
I think it's harsh on Omari because he's had an unbelievable year, but and I know he will be devastated not to get the trophy. But for me, it is got to be Ian.
Ian, you have won the trophy. Obviously, we're going to need your home address over in Germany to send that to. So hit me up in the comments and we'll get it sorted out. But Omari Hutchinson, you've done very well too. People, I want to know your thoughts in the comments section on all of the loan signings that we spoke about. We may have even left someone out. I can't even think off the top of my head. But
we do have a lot of them, to be fair.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I don't think people come to us for our sort of stresses. I don't know what even the word is, but you know what I'm on about. Let us know who you think has smashed it on loan this season. Let us know who you think the most reasonable integration into the first team should be next season. I will see you all in the next one.